Back. We are back on live. Sorry about that. We're gonna get everybody back into the room. What's up, Coop, man? Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. It's been a very hectic week on this end, man. We appreciate all the well wishes. People are doing fine. Got hit with a little virus. Christmas gathering, and people are slowly getting better. So
Yeah, Mike, our former employers, they have an outbreak going on down there. There are people we know being hospitalized right now.
I believe it, man. I mean, it's going
Yeah,
around crazy. It's going around heavy right now.
it is. I'm up in South Carolina right now, Mike. I was up in Winsboro. People in South Carolina that are going to catch this are going to be like, what's Coop doing in Winsboro? I was just taking care of some stuff. I do life insurance now as well. But I would just want to send my condolences to the Gunthrop and Green family. Uh, a beautiful woman that I met, Barbara Gunthrop. She lost her son at 36 years old to sleep apnea. He was actually a local rapper, and he actually used to come down to Atlanta, Mike. He was actually trying to get on and used to come down to Atlanta. And if you know where Winsboro is and how just how far deep in the woods Winsboro is, that kid, not kid, Mike, because he's about your age. He's 30. He was 36 when he passed. That's a lot of hustle to be coming from Winsboro down to Atlanta to try to make your dream happen.
Yeah.
Me on a personal level, I suffer from sleep apnea. So when she told me that he suffered from sleep apnea and that's how he passed, Mike, I'm going to get checked out when I get back home.
Well, yeah. I mean that's what took Sean Price too. So, that's it's a very serious thing, and condolences to that family as well. And man, other than that, man, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody out there had a Merry Christmas as well. I know it's a lot going on. And on, what was that, Christmas Eve, Nas hit us with Magic. Nas and Hit Boy. I cannot leave Hit Boy out of this because Hit Boy is doing some incredible, incredible work with the incredible legend. And man, I mean, I want to get your feelings on Magic. I know a lot of people have been waiting on what we have to say about Magic. I know the title of this show is Did Nas Drop 2021's Album of the Year with Magic? I know that's past our cutoff. We're going to get into all those things. First off, what were your thoughts on the album? We're going to call it the album, right? Magic by Nas.
It's 9 songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That constitutes an album. An Illmatic album?
Nigga, I call everything with original music an album. That's my rule.
I think 7 is kind of like my point where it's like goes from EP to album. 7 is like the barometer to me. The whole Daytona thing was like, okay, that's still an album because it feels like an album. So,
7 or more. So yeah, what were your thoughts on the Magic album?
I mean, Mike, he hasn't sounded this good as an MC since the 90s. Maybe Stillmatic. Is Stillmatic 2000?
I'm going to say this. Creatively, Stillmatic. Yeah, it was 2001. Creatively,
2001?
Creatively, Stillmatic. Lyrically, he was there creatively and all of that. But flow-wise, he hasn't sounded like this since I Am. And this is much better than I Am.
Oh, Mike, this album blows I Am out the water. And I Am had Nas's like on it.
Listen, I don't want to...
It blows I Am out the water.
We usually do our show on Fridays. This came out on a Friday, but it was Christmas Eve. I know you wanted to do the show, but I was running around, had a whole bunch of stuff to do. I'm glad we didn't do it in the moment. We would have sounded like we were gassing everything. Now we've had like nearly a week to sit on this thing, and I still feel the same way. And
that's what I'm saying, Mike. Nothing's
changed. This is a top 5 Nas album. I told you offline. This is better than King's Disease to me.
The first one, definitely.
I'm sorry. Of course, it's better than that one. King's Disease 2. And I know we polled the people on our YouTube channel. We got, 443 votes now. 54% say Magic.
Yeah, that's not enough, though, to constitute.
I think it's better than King's Disease 2, off top. You know what I mean? And kind of like for what I told you offline again, I think that I gave King's Disease 2 high points because I think it's a brilliant album. And it's an album that actually... where Nas kind of masters his new style, kind of, and I correlate it to Jordan with the Wizards, right? This ain't that. This is Jordan
No,
still with the Bulls, and so
no, I told you, Mike. This is
it's
91, Mike. Mike, are
yeah.
you listening to how he's digging into these tracks? That's 91, Mike. That's like bust your ass and still dunk on you, Mike.
The way Nas is rapping on this album, like you said, we hold Nas super high. Nas is the greatest MC of all time, and I'm gonna get into that in a second because he's overstepped Jay-Z in my opinion.
Like I've been saying.
And yeah, and like you've been saying, I'm a Jay-Z guy. Anybody who listens to the show knows that I'm a Jay-Z guy. But Nas has passed him over. Well, anyway, with all that being said, we're talking about the greatest MC of all time sounding the best that he sounded since 1998. I have to say this album is better than King's Disease too. I have to.
Mike, right now, lyrically speaking, if we're talking about in terms of the ability to make records and be a lyricist at the same time, Mike, only Conway is fucking with Nas right now. You understand that?
No, that's real. And he's not fucking with Nas on Magic. Because this is Nas in rare form.
No. I'm just talking about like in general, if we just want to do a synopsis of the last 2 years, Conway's the only person that you could even give any legitimate claim that's been a better rapper than Nas. Think about what that's saying.
Listen,
he's been the
everybody
best MC
in the room,
in the game.
Everybody in the room right now, tell everybody that we're live. I know y'all been waiting for us to talk about Magic, and we're going to break this thing down. Tell a friend, subscribe to According to Hip Hop on YouTube. Y'all know the business. Go ahead, Coop. Sorry.
No, listen to what I'm saying is that like Conway was MC of the year last year, and it was clear. Even though Nas dropped the solid project, From a King to a God is better than King's Disease, right? Mike, this year, he made KD2 and Magic.
No, it's just something else, man. All right, listen, he's doing what Conway did and Westside did last year. So
Mike,
he's Artist of the Year.
That's brilliant.
He's Artist of the Year. He's Lyricist of the Year. He's Hit Boy is Producer of the Year for all of this.
Yeah, you can go and rep it. Mike, I was given Alchemist Producer of the Year till I heard this album. Even with King's Disease too. When I heard this, I was like, Mike, you want to know what this is production-wise? Just real quick. This is what I told you I heard on KD2, except for he really doubled down on it and did it. He sounds like all of the core producers on Illmatic at some point.
I know. He
sounds like Pete, like beat-wise, it sounds like Pete Rock.
I was just about to say that. Dedicated sounds like Pete Rock.
When I say Dedicated sounds like Pete Rock. Wave Gods, even though Primo's doing the cuts on there, it still sounds like Primo. Mike, one of the tracks sounds like an LES track. One of the tracks sound like a Large Pro track. One of the tracks sound like a Q-Tip track.
Listen, man, I gotta give Hit Boy his props because at the end of the day, Hit Boy has provided the soundtrack that has inspired Nas to rap at this level again at this stage in his career. It's unfathomable, man. Honestly, Mike. This is some real Tom Brady winning the championship in Tampa Bay type of shit.
No, Mike. This is what I said. No, let's go to one of my notes. I wanted to be clear about this. This is not LeBron or Tom Brady because they can't carry a team the way that he's carrying like the weight of the words of the tracks right now. Like it's a solo mission. It's not the same thing.
We got 43 people in the room right now. I want to get into the actual music, right? What were your favorite tracks on the record? I'm going to go ahead and put the track list on the screen right now. We're starting off with Speechless, then you got Meet Joe Black, Ugly, 4016 Building, you got Hollywood Gangster, Woo for the Children, Wave God, The Truth, and Dedicated. What was you guys' favorite song on this album after hearing it, or even at this moment, or whatever? What say you, Coop?
Mike, The Truth is one of his best mic performances, Mike, as in period. And that's saying a lot.
Sap says Truth sounds like RZA in 95.
Mike, what I say, Mike, he sound like Nas on Take It in Blood in 96. Going crazy.
I think The Truth is one of the best hip-hop songs of the year. And again, I don't want to sit here and sound like we're gassing.
No, it's top 5 easy. It's one of the best 5 rap songs this year easy. If you told me it was the best rap song you heard this year, I wouldn't argue with you. Black Illuminati's up there for me. Tunchi with Armani and Love is up there for me. Those are the only 2 records I can think of off the top of my head.
Praise God is still up there for me. off of
It's not better
Dominant.
than the truth. But
The truth is, it's an incredible record. A lot of people are
man,
saying Speechless, Meet Joe Black, Wave Gods,
that's what I'm saying. Like
Hollywood
Mike, I love
Gangster.
Mike. Ugly, the truth and ugly to me are probably my favorite records because Mike, to me, ugly is like do rags.
You
Ugly is
know,
like do rags too.
listen, I feel like, and I don't want to gas us either. I feel like what we have done, somebody's out there listening. I mean, I
Mike,
could have
first of all, no, no,
swore
no, Mike. Mike,
we've
Mike.
said on this show, many a times that Nas and Hit Boy have found magic, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've said that many of
Mike,
times.
I don't even. No, 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 Mike. I ain't even gonna get into that part of it. I'm gonna talk about everybody else that keeps stealing our shit. Damn, if they stole our shit because they just made a classic rap album.
I
These
don't
other
even call
people-
that stealing. That's just inspiration. I love it.
Me too, but Mike, what I'm saying is I don't even care about Mike. I don't care about all that. Like, it's just beautiful.
No,
It's just beautiful what they're doing, Mike. I hit when it came out, I hit Kendrick on the group that we in, and I was like, this is on some Illmatic Lost Tape shit.
But what I was
Think
gonna
about
say,
what I'm saying.
what I was gonna say though, is the
I'm
fact
not gassing
that
nothing. I know what I heard.
what Nas also flexed on here is the fact that he can control the hook, he can do the hook, and I know in a previous show we've said the same thing can't be said about the guy that he's compared to the most. Jay doesn't do hooks like the Meet Joe Black. You can't. He doesn't. He
Mike,
doesn't have Jay doesn't have a
Mike,
made you look in his hook arsenal. You know what I'm saying?
Mike,
and Nas, what he
Jay-
did on here, he did all the hooks,
all of them.
all of them.
All
I
of
mean,
them.
no real. And you know what? I gotta give ASAP props
No real
too.
hip.
I
A$AP
love the
got
fact.
busy.
I love the fact that ASAP was on the record because I've always thought ASAP is probably one of the more underappreciated guys of his generation because ASAP could spit, and he could spit with
can.
anybody, and he just
can.
fit right in there. You know what I mean?
He did. It sounded beautiful.
It
Mike.
was
Mike,
beautiful.
Everything about it was beautiful, Mike. Everything sounds wonderful. He's the greatest rapper of all time. I've been saying for a long time, Mike, that he's the greatest rapper of all time.
It's not
Because
even a
here-
conversation anymore,
Mike,
honestly.
Mike, that's what I'm saying. It's not a conversation, but let's get into what people like. This is what I'm saying for people who don't like. For me, I look at people who say Jay is the greatest MC of all time. Sometimes, Mike, and it's like, well, what part of hip hop are you rooted in? Because if you're rooted in the fundamentals of hip hop, you can't ever really think with clarity that this guy Jay is better than Nas. And that's kind of, and not to like slight you or bring you up, Mike, but you've always felt this way. But what I was always saying is like, well, he's had a lot of help. He's kind of
He has
riding a
had
lot
a lot
of
of
waves.
help.
He's had, Mike, I've been saying this the whole time. I'm like, yo, he's had a lot of help on these hits. Like,
But
Mike,
I think
when he's by
time has really revealed that
when he's by himself on the B-side records, he's all-time great. But that stuff that y'all keep saying is great with all that help, I'm like, Nas don't need all that to be great. Because here's the thing with Magic, Mike, and I can't state this enough. Here's why Nas is the greatest MC of all time. Nas don't need to make no fucking single to even get considered for Album of the Year. All he has to do is step on the beat and rap the way he's capable of rapping, and it's going to be Album of the Year. Jay ain't never had it like that.
Well,
Ever.
you know, I think the closest
Even on
that
his
Jay
best
had it
album.
to that would be American Gangster, right? But this is
Like
the
I
thing.
said, Mike. Like I said, if that's
But
the
this-
closest he's
but-
been, then like I said,
I mean,
he's
you know
somewhere
what?
far
Listen,
away.
American Gangster is a dope project. You know what I'm saying? And
Mike,
but
we're
see,
talking about
even
dope project
but
versus
even with
classic
that,
shit.
but
Dope
even
versus
with
classic, Mike.
even with that being said, though, I mean, some people would consider American Gangster a classic. I don't
And I keep
think it
telling y'all,
is.
keep
But
telling
this is
y'all
the
it's
thing.
great.
But
it's
this
like,
is the thing,
not
though.
like- no.
Jay had to go into that type of chamber to make a quality album that people appreciated in that way. Nas doesn't even have to go there. He don't have to go on no gangster shit. He doesn't like
No,
Lil
be
Yachty
Nas.
said
That's
something,
what I keep
right?
saying, Mike. He can just get on the record and be Nas, and that's enough.
I'm gonna quote Lil Yachty on something. And he said something very profound one time. He said, "The easiest thing in rap to be is hard," and that's real. That's the easiest thing to be in hip hop. That gets everybody's antennas up, gets everybody riled up. But to go out there and be introspective, insightful, and hit things from a different spectrum, that's not easy.
But that's what I'm saying, Mike. He's been doing that the entirety of the time. I keep saying there was a point where I considered the catalogs to be comparable. If you told me Jay-Z's catalog was better at certain points, I wouldn't disagree with you. But Mike, the only thing he's ever had on him as an MC is more hit records, which have a lot of help, and his delivery. Mike,
Yeah.
he still has more hit records, but the help still exists, so it sounds dated. But guess what? Mike, he doesn't have a better delivery than him anymore.
This is the thing. No, you're right. No. I mean, all right, we can go down the line, right?
Jay don't have nothing on Nas. He has nothing for him.
This is what Nas has dropped in 2021. Nas has dropped King's Disease 2, and he has dropped Magic. This is what Jay-Z has dropped. Well, Sorry Not Sorry with Jay-Z, which was... Yeah.
No. We're sorry that they both made that record. We're sorry that they made that
record.
Well,
honestly, looking at what Nas has made this year, Nas is okay. This is what Jay has made.
No. They should both be ashamed of themselves still. So
Nas is cleared up from it. This is what Jay made in 2021. Guns Go Bang with Kid Cudi. The song with Nipsey Hussle, What It Feel Like. Another dud. Sorry Not Sorry, it was a dud. Let's be honest.
That wasn't even no mid.
King Kong Rhythm with Jadakiss and Conway. That was underwhelming.
No. That's problematic, Mike. It was problematic. It's disappointing. Outside of Conway's verse.
The song with Drake, Love All. That's kind of a dud, right?
That was that might be the best one, Mike.
And then Jail with Kanye West, the Baby's version is better than Jay's version.
Actually, Mike, the Drake record is his best performance this year, I think.
And that's not saying a whole lot. Listen.
No, Mike, that's a damn shame.
Yeah, and that's again, that's not one of the highlights of even on that album. And that album's not even a highlight of the year. I mean, we're going to get into the year. We got a whole lot to talk about. But what I do want to talk about, if we're talking about hits, right? Because we keep hearing these conversations about Jay and
all they do is talk about these damn hits, like these hits are like classic, Mike.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying. I know what you're gonna go. Look,
right.
They keep talking about Jay in the verses, right? And for whatever reason, people keep talking about Wayne. They keep talking about, they kind of staying out of the way of Kanye too. Wayne or Drake, right? And it seems like people aren't considering Nas because I guess they feel like the quote-unquote hits don't line up. But what people don't understand is if you play a song like Give It To Me or Empire State of Mind, Nas is going to come with like a New York State of Mind. He's not going to try to sit here and match you with You Owe Me or something. You're going to get like It Ain't Hard to Tell or something. You're going to get a Made You Look, and that's not going to play well against those records.
Exactly, Mike, but this is what I've been saying. I told you. And, Mike, I agree with everybody that's been running around saying this at the end of the year. Mike, the Jadakiss performance on the verses exposed something in the fabric of hip-hop that needed to be exposed.
Yeah.
When you're rooted in the fundamentals, Mike, like somebody like a Jadakiss is, like a Nas, like a KRS-One. You set the tone for the shit in this rap shit.
But the thing about it is,
not
though,
Jay. People keep Mike. Let me say this. People keep looking at Jay like Jay's the tone setter. If he were to go against Nas, nah, nigga, this is rap. No. Nas is the tone setter.
No, that's why he keeps talking about his beat.
Like, right.
That's why he keeps talking about his B-side.
Right. Nas coming in here playing New York State of Mind and Made You Look. Let's go.
Cool. Listen, Jay is
it's not gonna fly.
Jay is as much of a hip hop head as we are. He listens to the show and he knows those songs won't fly either. That's why he keeps talking about B-sides. That's why he keeps talking about freestyles.
Mike, he losing those too, Mike. He don't got Mike. This is what I keep telling y'all. He got some records for it. But Nas got records that keep going for it. It's like, I'm going to keep on naming them. It's like, well, what you want? Oh, Nas is like, Do-Rags, Made You Look. Where you want me to go, Mike? You want to go to some recent shit? You want to go to Store Run? You want to go to Death Row East? You want to go to The Truth? Mike, you want to go to Take It in Blood, Silent Murder, The Message, The Setup, Shootouts? Mike, where do you want to go? Memory Lane? Represent. It Ain't Hard to Tell. The World Is Yours. Life's a Bitch. Mike, he ain't got that kind of heat. He ain't never had that kind of heat, though. That's what I keep on saying.
You know what? This is the thing. You got to pick a place,
He
right?
never made records classic like that. He got about 5 to 10 records classic like that. Nas got like 30 records like that.
You
Where
got
y'all
to pick
been?
a place. Like, I don't know if you heard what, because everybody seems to be commenting on this stuff now. Because at the end of the day, look, I'm not trying to shit on anybody's platforms and all that, but you got political pundits, people who handle sports, all this stuff. They want to talk about a versus now. We talk about versus like, I mean, this is what we do, right? So we're able to kind of really see how these things factor out, how the catalogs come together, whatever, whatever. Anyway, I think it was Mark Lamont Hill was on his show talking about nobody's gonna beat Jay-Z in a versus. I guess he was talking about the notion that Busta Rhymes could beat him, whatever. And he said something that bothered me. He said Kanye got the hits, but he ain't got the streets. Wait a minute. So when y'all want to pick what it is, when regardless of who it's with. So if it's against Nas, he ain't got the hits, but if it's against Kanye, he ain't got the streets. Which is it?
Mike,
you know what I'm saying?
Right
Which
quick?
is
No,
it? And first of all,
Mike,
Kanye got some street records too. Honestly,
Mike, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Like, I love Dr. Lamont Hill. I actually went to hear him speak at a Dr. King celebration that they had up at Kennesaw State some years back when I was actually going to school there. I think very, very highly of the brother. I don't go out to hear people speak. He is one of the few people that I think that of. I'm going to say this respectfully. Stay in your goddamn lane, though.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, stay in your lane, fam. Straight up.
I mean,
I don't even know. I can't even go. No, respectfully, because I love you, and that's why I was prefacing it by saying, like, no, I've shown up to hear you speak because I think so highly of you. Stay in your lane, though. This is what I'm talking about. Like we doing phone checks on everybody, including within the community. No, that shit ain't true.
Eric Jones says, I don't know if he's talking to us, but people in the chat are saying that this Magic is classic. He said, y'all overrating this Nas offering. It is not a classic. What say you, sir? What up, DeCarlo? We got your trivia game in the mail too, man. Hope you got it.
Word. That's good.
But yeah.
Mike, I mean, it's just, what's wrong with the album? Okay. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I give you my critique?
I'm gonna give you my. You know what? I'm gonna give you my weak point of the album, and I still think it's a strong song. What do you think is the weakest song on there?
Mike, Hollywood Gangsta is probably the weakest song.
I was gonna say Wu-Tang for the Children.
That would be my second, like right in between there. But this is what I'm saying. So Mike, listen to my notes. That's where my Hollywood Gangsta notes is. Nas is inspired regardless of the beat, and that's how you know he's locked in, though. Like, you can still hear that he's inspired even though the track isn't all the way there. He's still, like, going for it on the record.
This is why I didn't like Wu for the Children, because, again, he had such a great flow going, and like I told you, I haven't heard him flow like this since I Am, honestly. And I think when the beat was taken out of the record, I think he was chasing a little bit more. And he wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't getting that snappy flow like everything else. But that's my only critique. Everything he said on there was dope. I mean, the track is dope. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like if that record was on KD2, I would think it was one of the stronger ones. So that's how strong I feel like Magic is. But see, I think I'm biased towards Magic because it is in the chamber of Nas that I like the most. Right?
No, Mike. So this is what I was about to say. This is pure unadulterated hip hop. That's Nas's chamber.
Yeah.
That real hip hop shit. That's why I'm saying. So how can y'all sit up there and acknowledge that this is like what the real pure hip hop sounds like, and then say somebody else is greater when he's obviously the best and is the best at doing the pure unadulterated hip hop shit?
But this is the thing about Jay. This is the thing about Jay in the comparison, right?
Or is this about hits and looking flashy for the camera?
Well, you know what?
He say he ain't got no temperature.
All right. Well, this is the thing, man. It's the difference to me as far as like Jay and Nas, like as a totality. It's like this longevity, that this run that Nas is on right now, it can't be ignored. We can't sit here and take certain segments of people's career. We have to look at the totality of the thing. It's like looking at Peyton Manning and looking at Tom Brady now. Like, at some point there was a debate, right? People like Peyton's the way he was passing the ball. It looked great, right? And he put up the numbers similar to Jay. But that longevity and actually going in there for the wins like Tom Brady has done and continuously doing it over and over, and when you see them get matched up, you see who's the victor. I mean, after a while, you know what? Let me just go to the chart. I'm just gonna go to this chart,
No,
man.
no, no, Mike, hold on. Can you stop right quick before you
Go
go to the
ahead. Go
chart? Because
ahead.
I want to say something. Here is where he is very much like Tom Brady. Like like early on, Jay had like all the numbers, but Mike, if you really start looking at over a course of time, who got the championships? This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, Lost Tapes, Godson, KD2, Magic, Mike. I just named 7 albums that people think are classics.
No, that's real.
What are we talking about?
I mean, as far as being a tone setter as a lyricist too, like, you know, that's I mean,
that's not
this
even,
is the
that's not even a
thing.
question.
This is
Like
the thing that
Jay-Z has like 4 or 5 records where lyrically he's like where Nas is, like from beginning to end on record by himself.
But no, this is the thing that kind of takes
By
it
himself.
over the edge, though. It's like Nas is like,
Who knows?
you know, for most people who I guess weren't old enough. I mean, I wasn't even old enough to even understand what the buzz was like when Nas came in initially. Nas was like LeBron James. Like when people saw LeBron in high school, he was the chosen one before he even played a single game in the NBA. That's what Nas was before he even dropped the record. And then he dropped the record, and the record lived up to it. And then he continued to live up to it. And the fact that he is doing this at this stage, it's undeniable at this point.
So, Mike, most of the people who really know who Nas was were people, like in terms of like in the streets, you had to probably be born around, if you weren't in New York, you probably had to be born around 78, 79, 80 to really know who Nas was before Nas came out. I was born in 81. And the only reason I found out about Illmatic is because my cousin Mario, who was 4 years older, he knew who Nas was and copped that tape. And as soon as I finally pried my hands on that tape, and Mike, I didn't know what it was. Part of the reason why I listened to the tape was because I saw that cover and I was like, damn, that looks like, you know, that looked like all of us.
Madnan says Nas is not Bron, he's MJ. I feel you, but what I'm saying is
He's talking about the buzz.
I'm talking about the buzz that LeBron had coming out of St. Mary. Man, I mean,
Snoop. I told you, Mike. Snoop and Nas had the biggest buzzes.
Not in the same way, though. Like Nas was like a prophet. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, no. Nas was touted as the next Rock Kim,
yeah,
but Snoop was
like
touted
Snoop was touted as the next superstar, and he lived up to that as well. But as
not
far
even
as
next superstar, Mike, not next superstar, first superstar.
But that's debatable. I still say LL Cool J is that, but
he wasn't a superstar. LL never moved 5 million units, Mike.
Andre Shashir says Magic or Daytona. I'm still going Daytona, but I love Magic.
Ooh, Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Lyrically, Magic's better, but
Mike, okay, so let's have a conversation.
I don't know. I don't know if lyrically Magic's better.
It is slightly, but how about this, Mike? I was actually thinking. No, it is slightly. Not by much. You know how I feel about Push, but it is, because here's what I'm saying. When Nas is Nas and he can provide you with that content and be as lyrical as these other guys, it's not a win for them, Mike, because he's got you on the content. Now he's got you on the delivery. He already had you lyrically.
Yeah.
He already had you lyrically and on the content. He got his delivery intact. No, these dudes aren't better. Like, it's just, you know, I'm talking about dudes that I love, but I was thinking to myself, Daytona from a King to a God and Magic are probably the best lyrical mic performances of the last 5 years, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Those three, right?
Yeah.
So, Mike, when was the last time somebody made something like on par with that prior to that? Because I think it's been a minute.
Man, the chat's blowing up right now. There was something that I saw on here that I did want to address. If we can get back to what you were saying. K. Thompson said Jay would be MJ because MJ had the work to be the GOAT. Bron was GOATed in high school. I feel that. But MJ also had physical gifts too. He had a 48-inch vertical. They say he ran a 4.3 in North Carolina. You know, not to mention the hands. Obviously, you know, he worked, but he had some physical gifts too. You know what? I've been thinking about it over the past couple of days. I really think Nas might be the MJ, man. And I say this because Nas doesn't have a lot of help. MJ had a good amount of help, but it was like a standard amount of help. I would say AZ is his Scottie Pippen, maybe. Is that fair to say?
No.
But when you talk about teaming up with big threes, He doesn't. Nas doesn't have an album with Kanye West. Nas doesn't have 2 albums with R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Nas didn't have Just Blaze and Kanye West as on his production staff. Nas didn't have Beanie Siegel. You know what I'm saying? Like
none of that. So I keep trying
that's
to say.
big 3 stuff, and I feel like
Mike was getting like the best tracks from the best producers too, because he was getting radio play. So he's getting Timbaland's best shit. He getting Pharrell's best shit. He getting everybody's best shit. Yeah, right.
yeah. Samples getting cleared and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Samples getting cleared,
all that. All right. Well, speaking of which,
wrong.
So I want to go with the whole 10-year theory, right? That whole 4 albums in 10 years, nigga. I can divide. Let's look at the chart real quick.
That's one every list.
And shout out to my man.
2 of them shits was.
Yeah. Shout out to my man Mark over there at Throwback, man. He provided us with this graphic here. So it says in the past 10 years plus, this is what the catalogs are looking like. 2010, Nas dropped Distant Relatives. 2012, you got Life is Good. 2018, Nasir. 2019, Lost Tapes 2. 2020, King's Disease. 2021, King's Disease 2, 2021, Magic. On Jay-Z's end, we have 2011, Watch the Throne, 2013, Magna Carta, 2017, 444, and 2018, Everything's Love. Funny how the tables have turned where in the last 10 years we've only gotten, are those even 4 Jay-Z LPs? We got 2 Jay-Z albums and 2 collab albums. And maybe if you want to count the Jay Electronica, no, he didn't.
Give him that, Mike. No, we'll give him that.
He didn't even put his name on that. I don't want to give him that. He didn't put his name on it. His name's not even on the album.
Mike, he's in desperate need of help. So we're gonna go ahead and give him this.
Even with that being given.
Oh no, Mike, he's still getting blown out, but that's what I've been saying.
Well, this is what the whole catalog looks like, right? So we got Illmatic, It Was Written, The Firm, I Am, Nostradamus. Then you got QB's Finest, Stillmatics, The Lost Tapes, Godson, Street's Disciple, Hip Hop Is Dead, Untitled, Distant Relatives, Life Is Good, Nasir, Lost Tapes 2, King's Disease 2, and Magic. That's 19 efforts right there. And on Jay's end, we got Reasonable Doubt, In My Lifetime, Volume 1, Volume 2, Life of Time, Sean Carter, Volume 3. You got The Dynasty, The Blueprint 2, Best of Both Worlds, The Black Album, Unfinished Business, Kingdom Come, American Gangster, The Blueprint 3, Watch the Throne, Magna Carta, 444, Everything Is Love. That's 17. If we want to add Jay Electronica, make that 18 to 19. Listen, listen, Mike, man. I know I said in previous shows.
Mike, when you say the names of those albums out loud, what are people talking about? Talking about Jay Better? With what evidence? The last time y'all had evidence was like when Nas was making Nostradamus. Like that was over 20 years ago. That's what I've been saying. If you really look at the last 20 years, Mike, you can go look at the last 20 years. Jay had a gap for about 3 or 4 years in this 25, 26.
Let's be perfectly honest. Ever since the Black Album, it's kind of been like hit or miss. Is that fair to say? And I know I said in the previous
it's been
show,
mostly miss since the Black Album.
I said in the previous show when Kanye's not involved, it's kind of been miss. You know what I'm saying? So, I will say this. I do think that. Let me go back to this chart real quick. I will say this. I do think during that section where Nas dropped Street's Disciple, Hip Hop Is Dead, and Untitled, I think that was a struggle, role for him. Distant Relatives is brilliant, in my opinion. Godson was dope.
Yeah.
I didn't like Street's Disciple, Hip Hop Is Dead, or Untitled.
No, Mike, that's the weakest stretch of his career.
That is definitely the weakest stretch of his career.
Yeah, without question.
But even with that weak stretch, I think that people kind of intensify it like it was longer than it actually was. So
when did Godson come out?
That was 2002.
2002. When did Distant Relatives come out?
Distant Relatives was 2010.
So that's 8 years, Mike. So I'm gonna be objective and tell you if you told me from 2002 to 2010 that Jay was better, I'm gonna give you that.
Yeah,
Mike,
yeah, definitely.
Mike, he's
You
not
know what?
better than not. Mike,
I would give Jay from 2001 on, because when the Blueprint dropped, I think the Blueprint's stronger than Stillmatic, right?
I'll watch it, Mike, but I'm not going to call Jay a better MC because he put an album together where his production help consisted of Kanye West, Just Blaze, and Bink.
I'm not mad at that. I agree with you on that. But I will say, though, that, you know, if we're talking about album for album, I think the Blueprint is a better album. Now, clearly, we've talked about this. Jay has more help.
See, how about this, Mike? When you say that, and here's what I'll tell you. The Blueprint is a better end-to-end player than Stillmatic. But the classic shit on Stillmatic has stayed longer than the classic shit on the Blueprint because Nas is a better MC and content's going to win in the long run.
You know what I've also, you know, kind of learned is the fact that Nas,
you can still play You're the Man.
Nas is his own guy. Like, his stuff sounds like his stuff. Jay's stuff sounds like whoever he's working with.
You can tell what era he's in when you go listen to his stuff. That's what I'm saying, Mike. You can still go play You're the Man and you're like, oh, well, that's Nas.
And that's
like
why
anytime.
That's why when people say this about a versus, I just want to know what songs are being played. Because, again, if Jay-Z was going against Kanye in a versus, he would not win that. Because these Kanye songs, regardless if y'all feel like Kanye wrote the shits or not, they sound like Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Jay stuff, it's like, what are we going to play? You going to play Money Ain't a Thing? You going to play, like, because I think might have been Mark Lamar here. No, it was Ninth Wonder. You saw that Ninth Wonder post where he was talking about Jay going to do Crazy in Love and bring out Beyonce. Who gives a fuck about a nigga doing Crazy in Love in a verse? Are you serious? Come on, Ninth Wonder. Cut it out.
He does that.
Got a lot of respect for you too, Ninth Wonder, but cut it out.
It's very problematic.
Cut it out. Cut it out. What are we even talking about?
Mike, I don't think people understand. Like, Nas got like DJ Premier, like Lil Wayne problems, like with the verses. It's like, which 20 classic records am I gonna pick from?
K. Thompson says the Blueprint is dated too. Illmatic's not. It's interesting you say that.
I just said that, Mike. I said the classic shit on Stillmatic has stayed longer than the classic shit on the Blueprint because Nas is Nas and Jay rides waves.
And you know, it's interesting because obviously, you know, Nas being the artist that he is and meaning so much to Columbia at the time, they wanted him to ride waves too. And even when he did that, you still get a Nas's like on the album. You know, it's
he can't help himself, Mike. Can't help it.
And,
can't help it. He's a rapper's rapper.
This is what I get from Magic and KD too. I feel like Nas is finally free and able to make the music that he wants to make at the pace that he wants to make it. Because even in the 90s, you know, you have that Jay-Z line about, you know, Nas only coming out with a certain amount of albums over a 10-year period in comparison to him. But you could, even in the 90s, if you go on YouTube right now, there's so much unreleased Nas material from that era. They just weren't putting it out. And so I don't feel like his work ethic has changed. It's stayed consistent. It's just his ability to put out material now. He's free. So I think that right now we're really seeing the testament of who really is that artist that could go in, lock in, and knock out stuff. I think in the previous episode I said that, you know, Jay-Z has a lot to catch up with. I think that was after Nas dropped KD 2. After Magic, I don't... Listen, man, I say this respectfully, Jay. I know you watch the show and all that. I don't think that... I don't see you catching up to Nas if he keeps this pace up. And he's saying he's dropping KD 3. I just don't see it, man.
I forgot about that, Mike. We keep forgetting this is just a warm-up.
No, it's just a warm-up, man. They're dropping KD 3. And honestly, man, you know, and I know I talk shit about Kendrick Lamar and his pace, and he ain't dropped since 2017. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear anything about Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you don't even care anymore.
I don't care. I I don't want to see no letters that he's writing and all that shit. I
I
don't
mean,
care, man.
Mike. Okay, so Mike, that's because Nas is the greatest MC of all time, and his relevancy and his activity as a premier and top-notch lyricist makes you not miss Kendrick as much. Period. Point
I
blank.
never
You're like,
missed
well, Nas.
Kendrick anyway.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is that Kendrick filled a void lyrically that somebody like a Nas left in that 2002 to 2010 span. Kendrick Lamar's J. Cole, those are the people that popped up. The dude who they were like, taking the mantle from lyrically, he's back and he's in his prime. He was already better than them to begin with.
DiCarlo ask a really good question. He said,
they know he's better.
He said, will the KD series surpass the Blueprint series?
It already has. What are we talking about? KD1 and KD2.
I don't know about that. No, he needs a third one to.
No, KD1 and KD2 are better than the two strongest projects because KD1 and KD2, Blueprint 1 and 3, right? That's what we're talking, right?
Yeah, we're talking 1 and 3 for the most part because 2 was all over the place.
I mean, Mike, look at this. Okay, Mike, you understand that this is over anyway because this is the best 3-album run of Nas's career, and they're about to drop KD3. So even if it is a conversation, the conversation's about to be over. Is
it too early to ask where you have Magic placed in Nas's catalog?
I'm gonna give you his 9 best albums, which no rapper ever can touch. That's Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, The Lost Tapes, King's Disease 1, King's Disease 2, Life is Good, Magic, Godson. He's made 9 great albums. Mike, you're right, Magic. Okay, so Mike, let's have the conversation right quick. Illmatic, It Was Written, and Stillmatic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is this better? And you're saying it's better than KD2 because the conversation for us about KD2 was KD2 versus the Lost Tapes. And if I'm not mistaken, KD2 and Lost Tapes either washed or KD2 took it. So if you're saying it's better than KD2, aren't we kind of saying that it's better than the Lost Tapes? Because we know it's better than God.
I think it is.
Okay, so if we're saying that, this is his 4th best project, Mike. So think about that. If we're saying that Magic is his 4th best project, because it would go Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, Magic, Lost Tapes are KD2, and then after that, Godson, right?
Are you sure it's better than Stillmatic? Or, Stillmatic got the home runs.
Mike.
Are you sure that Stillmatic's better than Magic? Excuse me.
Blood of a slave, heart of a king, Mike. Say less.
And you know what? I think the thing is, man, I just really like the way he's rapping on Magic.
You like the way he's rapping on this album, Mike. This is a better end-to-end player, but it's not as long. Mike, we can have the conversation. Let's see how it balances itself out. But this is a top 5 Nas album, yeah.
All right, well, this is the question I wanted to ask because I got a whole list of stuff here, right? I know that we said our cutoff for 2021 had to be like the end of November. Is this album eligible for Album of the Year consideration dropping so late in the year?
If you really, Mike, if we want to be, how about this? We can kind of do what we want because we don't belong to anybody. That's why they keep watching us and biting us, and I'm getting sick of this shit. But let's say, realistically, Mike, if we're being objective, we should make the cutoff date 12/3, which means Big Boy's album, Rick Ross's album, the Currency album that actually dropped the same day as the Nas album. Those 4 projects technically should probably be counted towards next year if we're going to be objective about it. But if we just kind of want to run it, that's how we ran it last year. That's why I'm saying if we want to be consistent, how we ran it last year is we cut it off after the first set of album releases in December. And so if we're being consistent, what this is Nas making the album of the year for next year very early on because I doubt somebody going to make something better than this shit. But
KD3 is coming, so.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. So really what we have is the guy who just made album of the year starting off the new calendar rap year by starting off with the album of the year. Yeah, back to back.
People say, Courtney Rose says it should do as a year.
Actually, Mike, this is MJ, Mike. This is a 3-peat. This is KD1, KD2, and Magic, Mike. 3-peat.
Listen, man. I don't know, man. I'm good either way. We didn't see this coming. It was, I mean, the run that Nas is on right now is literally unprecedented. I didn't
It's
think
the
that.
best run of his career, Mike. I thought he was the greatest MC of all time before this run. He's having his best run. He's never made 3 consecutive great projects.
No, I mean,
This is the first time.
and like I said, Magic came out of nowhere. This is like literally.
This on some rap
This
shit,
is
Mike.
for me. This is like if Outkast were to drop an album that sounded like ATLians, like right now.
I mean, like I said, Mike, this is on some like Illmatic meets Lost tapes type stuff. He's
It
like
is.
on his rap shit.
It is. If you would have told me that these songs were old and he put them out, I would have believed that. You know what I mean?
Mike,
And the
like,
fact that these lyrics are so up to date. I mean, Young Dolph was murdered, last month. So these lyrics are fresh.
They are.
People are wondering why Magic can't be in consideration for 2021. It did drop in 2021.
No. I didn't say we couldn't. I said if we're being objective and being consistent with how we ran it last year, which means if we were to consider it album of the year, we would be changing the way that we formatted things the previous year.
Well,
I also started off by saying we have the ability to do that because we don't belong to anybody.
Well, this is the thing.
Just hear me clearly.
This is the problem that we've run into before, right? The problem is when people drop an album this late in the year, it doesn't have the time to marinate like albums that were dropped in June or in March, because you can really start seeing the strength in the album when you see that over the months you're like, oh yeah, this still goes. So this isn't just a heat of the moment thing. That's the only reason why we have trepidation about including albums that come so late in the year in album of the year consideration, because we don't want to be prisoner of the moment.
Mike, this is what I mean about being objective, though. Some MCs are so great that when they're great and they make classic shit, you can almost immediately tell. Jay-Z is in that category as well. Nas is in that category. Rakim is in that category. And so that's what I meant about being objective, is because it's like, everything that you're saying is true, but it doesn't apply to some guys when they make their great shit, you know, immediately. And Nas is one of those guys. And so I'm telling you, it's like, we can wait to see if it stays. I'm telling you, Magic's about to stay.
Darnell Lee says, the key will Magic be in the yearbook for 2021 or 2022? Well, we have to put it in 2021. So, I mean, I agree with you, Coop. I mean, we know that this isn't really a prisoner of the moment thing. But you know, we kind of got to be consistent. I'm not opposed to it being in consideration for album of the year. This is probably going to be our final show of 2021, right? Because we're not going on before 2022. So we need to go ahead and decide this now. If honestly, man, if this is included, to me, this is album of the year.
It's the album of the year, right, Mike? If it's included, it's the album.
That's
of the year.
That's what I said.
Album of the year got dropped the last week of the year. Yep.
Yeah, if Magic is included, which I think we should, Magic is album of the year. And it's crazy to say that because we were talking about KD2 being the runaway album of the year the whole year, pretty much.
Mike, so do you understand that I'm about to... First of all, I got to redo the list. This is awesome. Because actually, Mike, you know what's funny? You and I have been so busy separately doing separate things. And this is what I meant about being objective. I have notes for my hip-hop yearbook about how I was telling you, I was like, I think we're going to have to slide everybody on 12/10 the next year. But here's what I'll tell you, Mike. The top of the album of the year is going to read Nas, Magic, 1. Nas, King's Disease, number 2. Which, Mike, is going to make him Artist of the Year.
Yeah.
It's going to make him MC of the Year. It's going to make him Lyricist of the Year. That means he's sweeping everything. And that's what I meant about being objective. Because if we put Magic in, he just took everything from everybody, Mike.
Oh, yeah. And Hit Boy, producer
so ain't nobody
of the year.
getting nothing. So, Mike, ain't nobody getting nothing, and I don't want to hear it, and it's actually justified if we count it in that framework.
Well, speaking of that team, let me pull up this graphic about Hit Boy, producer of the year. Rap Caviar gave him producer of the year. We probably will as well. They said most streamed of 2021
we got Magic, Mike.
So he got Don Toliver, What You Need, Nas, Rare. Oh, okay. Artists that he collaborated with in 2021, he got Nas, Big Sean, Dom Kennedy. Dom Kennedy. What's wrong with me? Corday. You got Russ, Benny the Butcher, G Herbo, Sada Baby, Nardo Wack, Babyface Ray, and Don Tolliver. Hit Boy had a really good year. Excuse me.
Yeah, Mike. He produced the best 2 rap albums this year.
Yeah. And like I said, what he got out of Nas,
actually, Mike, and when you think about that, that's actually like, I think the only person that's ever like done that or come close to it is probably the RZA in '95. If you felt like Liquid Swords and Purple Tape were the best 2 rap albums that year, or
we could probably dig again. I think 05 when Kanye did Late Registration and B.
No, those weren't the best 2 albums that year. B was not Late Registration. Maybe
Late Registration wasn't. I like Late Registration more than the documentary. People love the documentary, but yes.
Mike, I was in Cali. I can't let it go. I mean, it's just one of those things that stays with you.
There's a moment. Unknown Name says, why is other media not shining a light on Magic? That's interesting because, yeah, there's not a lot of press being done about this effort. You hear more people talking about who Jay-Z should go against in the verses than actually talking about this album, which is interesting to me because it furthers that narrative. It seems like that the mainstream media does not want Nas to win because you would feel like if another person were to drop this album, this would be talk of the town.
Mike, I want you to understand, people are like, Mike, listen to the albums that you just named. Okay, so Mike, listen to what I'm saying. Since 2011, Jay-Z's 2 solo albums with no help are Magna Carta, Holy Grail, and 444. What are we talking about?
Magna Carta, listen. Magna Carta is trash. So and I love Jay. I love Jay.
Those are 2 of his worst albums, that and Kingdom Come. So Mike, I want you to understand.
No, I think Magna Carta is worse than Kingdom Come.
Okay, Mike, tomato. Mike, tomato, you know.
I need a Picasa in mi casa. I'm a hasa. Or whatever that was.
Valid point, Mike. We might have to rock with Magna Carta. But what I'm saying is that in the last 10 years, Mike, all I'm saying is in the last 10 years, as an MC, all he's really done is make 2 of his worst 3 projects as a solo artist. The other 3 projects had help that sounded solid.
People, listen, let's keep it a buck. People love Watch the Throne because of Kanye West.
Yeah, Mike, that's Kanye's show. Like Jay is Scottie Pippen. Jay is Scottie Pippen on Watch the Throne.
Oh, definitely. Listen, man, I think Nas is the greatest MC of all time, but I think that Kanye West is hip hop's greatest artist of all time. But that's just me.
Mike, it's starting to pan out that way. I told you when I did that list of his production credits, and then I went and made a list of his records. I was like,
yeah.
Oh. It's like, I was like, don't nobody want nothing with that. Don't nobody want that. Like, don't nobody want to put that together and go against that, Mike. No, don't nobody want that, Mike. Nobody.
Yo, man. I'm sitting here reading some of the comments, man. Magna Carta is trash. And, like I said,
people are saying that it's good? Are people lying?
No, people are saying it's trash. And people are lying.
Okay, good.
But
I like that people are being honest.
Kingdom Come is bad. I think Kingdom Come is probably his second worst album. Excuse me.
Yeah,
but
Mike,
it has its moments.
Then 444.
People like 444, so I'm gonna stay off.
I don't care what people keep trying to do to justify. Well, he's getting in depth for once. That don't mean that the shit sounded dope. It's not dope.
I didn't get into 444, and I guess I kind of attribute it to the fact that it's just not the Jay-Z that I like.
No, Mike, it's not about that. It's not good. The beats aren't good. The rhymes aren't good. Period.
Jay, you got to come with something, man. You got to, man, because the stuff that he dropped this year wasn't hot. I mean, even the song with Nipsey, he dropped a song with Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. That didn't even do anything, man. That didn't do anything. We talking about Jay-Z and Nipsey Hussle getting on the record together. That didn't do anything. And watch, man, watch. I'm sure Pitchfork Media is going to give Magic like a 4 out of 10 or something. If they even rate it at all. I think that, we have probably deterred Pitchfork Media from actually rating Nas albums.
No, I mean, Mike, we've deterred a lot of people. I see a lot of people out here shook. You know what I'm saying? It's
Let
all
me
good
see.
though.
Let me see if they rated this album, Pitchfork Media. Since we're on live right now.
If they know what's good for them,
Let
Mike,
me see.
they don't want to do it.
Oh,
Nobody want no smoke with us right now, really, Mike.
They didn't review it.
They better not either.
Nah, they haven't reviewed it yet. I mean, if they
Good.
look, they can review it all they want, but they need to review it properly.
No, nigga, they've been fired, Mike, by the community, by the black delegation.
M. Michael said 444 was great. Reggie Noble said 444 was fire. I mean, listen.
No, Mike, you might have been able to set it on fire because it was trash, but
listen, Coop, I don't really love the album either, but I don't agree. I don't specifically. On there that
belongs on his greatest hits. Name one song on there that belongs on his greatest hits, and you can have two. You can have an A and a B side. I'll give you 30 J songs. Tell me one of Jay's 30 best songs is on 444.
You know what? That is a fair point, but you know what? This is the problem with that.
And that shit trash.
The problem with that is the fact that Jay has centered his career. He has centered his career around hits, and if he has albums that don't have those hits, then they're not going to be considered by certain people. You know what I mean?
Jay for his B-sides. That album is not any good. Stop saying that album's good. It's not. That's what I'm saying about people be misappropriating the culture and try to make it seem like it's hot because it's Jay. Just because it's Jay doesn't make the album great. The beats aren't dope. The rhymes aren't dope. Show me where they are.
You know,
show me where niggas is running around quoting stuff off 444. Show me where niggas is calling streets something in the 444 classic. Y'all don't be doing that. Y'all jump up on it. It's great. No, it's not. The shit was whack. Like, let that shit go. Nostradamus was whack. Mike
Michael said Family Feud. We got people saying Family Feud. Marcy Me. They said the story of OJ, but a lot of people saying the story of OJ, but I would say that Pusha T's story of Adidon is probably more notable than the story of OJ, in my opinion.
Y'all talking about this, Mike? I want you to understand how these people sound right now. Y'all are trying to put the story of OJ in some sort of relevancy in the Jay's catalog. What the fuck we doing?
I'm with you on that. Like I said, what I'll say
just
about
444 those records y'all just name and stand down.
I don't think 444 is a whack album. I just didn't get into it.
Mike, they just named 3 records. Send me the album, then it's whack.
Yeah, what Jay say? Because he wear a kufi don't mean that he right.
Right. Every time I listen to the album, Mike, I'll be like, oh, he righteous now. He want to bare his soul now. Now it's cool to do this shit. The fuck ever. And it's not dope, Mike. On top of that, it's not dope. It's contradictory and it's not dope.
Because you don't understand him don't mean that he nice.
That he nice. Right. Just mean that you don't understand the bullshit that he writes. So y'all don't understand what this billionaire is talking about. Y'all trying to make it seem like y'all do. I don't. And the shit whack.
You know, the thing is, man, like, what I don't like is the fact that you want to sit here and talk about, like people are misusing their bread when you have told people to misuse their bread your whole career. You know, he got on that interview with, I think it was the, it was not the New York Post, one of those publications out there in New York. It slips me at the moment. Anyway, he said something about, he said money, not money doesn't matter. He said money isn't everything. And I was like, Jay-Z, really? Money isn't everything? Money is your whole career. What are we talking about? When he said that, I tuned out of the interview. I was like, wait a minute.
How can y'all keep crowning this guy when he does stuff like this?
This is 444J. 444J told you money isn't everything. Okay.
Mike, after he's acquired $1 billion, he tells you money doesn't matter. Okay.
It's bigger than
Mike, that should let you know that you've been conned. When the guy who gets to $1 billion tries to make you believe that money doesn't matter, you're being hustled. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all understand, y'all up here taking up for the man, like y'all sound like some suckers. Right. Because y'all doing sucker shit.
Listen, man, I don't even want to get into all that, but it's like...
No, it's sucker shit to take up for him at this point. Mike, people are bringing up the story of OJ has something to stand on, like it's the evils or friend or foe or a million and one questions. The story of OJ,
Yeah, it's not. It wouldn't make his,
like
greatest
that ain't
hits.
even top 50. I don't think, Mike.
Even if we did his greatest hits from 2000 on, I don't think
Like
anything on there would make it.
that's not a top 50 Jay-Z record, Mike.
Yeah,
What are we
Andrew
doing?
said it. Yeah, New York Times. Yeah, it was his New York Times interview. He sat there and said, "Yeah, y'all seen the interview." He said, "Money isn't everything."
Shut your ass up. Like, okay, like whatever. Okay,
But you
cool.
told us for 30 years it is. I'm gonna pivot real quick. It's just like it's like the whole NFL thing, right? It was like he told JD not to do it or whatever. And then, like, you know what? I think we should do it. We're past that. I'll sit down and take a seat at the table.
Me.
And then everybody's supposed to be cool with the NFL again.
Me.
It's wild, man. But again, I look, people can do whatever they want. I just say make your own decisions, and I think that we're kind of tearing away with the gatekeeper whole mentality where it's like you put this one person in a position and this person tells you where to go, how things go.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that people don't like Kanye because Kanye is one of those tastemakers that people don't listen to. Some people do.
Mean? What do you mean?
In the sense where
elaborate.
I think that Kanye's so erratic in, his way of thinking that he can say something that certain followers will follow it, but other people will be like, "Oh, Kanye's crazy." Whatever. He's not one of those Oprah, Jay-Z figures where they feel like if they feed this person information,
they stamp it. Yeah. Like it's not a stamp when he says it. It's not a stamp when he says it. No, I get it.
And I love that because it allows people to think. Because you're able to think if you're with him or you're not. So with somebody like, Jay says things, you're not even supposed to think. You're supposed to see him at the table with the NFL and be like, you know what? Everything's cool.
Well, Mike, what Ye really does is that he kind of exposes the side to the game that these guys try to act like they're not inconsistent and inconsiderate about as well.
Right.
And so he's just really who they really are behind the scenes anyway. It's just Ye's giving it to you like up front. No. Them dudes ain't steady either. Them dudes be waffling and going back and forth and saying dumb shit like money doesn't matter after they have $1 billion too. It's just y'all keep buying certain people's brand more than others because you bought into them early and you refuse to let go because you might, like people get attached to certain things. I told you, Mike, Mike, one of the things that I always remember as a Nas fan is being up in Greensboro right before I left, before Ether came out, but Jay had dropped Takeover. I was around my dudes who were all heads like me. They were all telling me Nas was done. Like, I was a Nas fan and they knew it. That kind of stuck with me. So when he dropped Ether, them niggas was getting messages from Atlanta. Be like, what happened to that shit you was talking, nigga? About your boy.
But that's the thing with hip hop, man. People pick a side, even when we saw it the most when like
what
Big
I'm saying
and Pac
is that you're invested, and because people have invested, more people have invested in Jay than Nas in this community, people are reluctant to admit that they picked the wrong horse, is what I'm saying.
Yo, LP says Mike wasn't talking like this in January 2021. Nas done changed everything in 1 year. You're right. I just got to be honest on this, Mike. I'm not going to sit here and hold on to something that's not true.
Right. I was about to say, see, he's trying to critique you, but really what you're doing, Mike, is what other people need to be doing. You've made an appropriate assessment of the situation as a Jay-Z fan, objectively, like, hold on. Like, my guy's not making albums as much as this guy. He's not making music as good as this guy. Lyrically, he was never really this guy. This is a problem. Let me assess it.
And then when I start assessing Jay-Z's hits and the help that he's had on his hits that Nas hasn't had, and then you look at the help when it's not there and you aren't really getting much of an output. I was on the Kendrick Lamar train too. But I got to be, objective about that as well. And Kendrick Lamar ain't dropping nothing. I don't even see anything coming in the next 30 days, to be honest.
And Mike, here's also what KD2 and Magic did, like on a hip hop head level. I told you earlier this year, remember I was like lining up all the greatest MCs tracks by themselves, like the records that they just made by themselves. And I told you something. I was like, if you actually want to go song for song, somebody being by themselves, Rakim still has the strongest catalog because he's made the most great songs by himself from beginning to end.
Right.
Mike, because of KD2 and Magic, that's not true anymore.
Nas is really changing the tides on a lot of these conversations.
Right, like because just with the records on Magic, because every record on Magic is by himself except for the one with ASAP and KD2. Most of the great records on there are solo missions, Mike.
I mean,
see, again, solo mission. Thor runs a solo mission.
But see, the part that's really changing me too is the fact that we see what Nas can do now that he's free. You know what I'm saying? Like when he doesn't have Def Jam and he doesn't have Columbia on his back or whatever they were doing to suppress his material, because at the end of the day, he has 2 lost tapes and a whole bunch of other stuff that never came out. Jay-Z doesn't have any lost tapes. Everything he made was able to come out.
Mike, here's how you know that he's a GOAT. If KD3 sounds like it's in the vein of these last 3 albums, Mike, that's going to bump Life is Good out of his 10 greatest albums list.
That's crazy, man.
Life is Good is going to be like 10th or 11th on his best albums list. Think about what I'm saying. He's the greatest MC of all time.
No, he is. No, he is. It's not even a question right now. I think the only person that has the catalog to catch him is Jay, and I just don't. I mean, I don't see it happening. I mean, just looking at, again, let's look at this 10-year chart. Let's look at this 10-year chart. I don't see it happening. You got Magna Carta. You got 444. Everything is Love. And if you want to throw the J Electronica in there, I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening.
Well, there's nothing about the material saying it's there that's seeing it's happening. So I'm going to tell you something that I realized. So I haven't even really got to any of my Nas notes while we've been talking about all this. Mike, I wrote down something about the Marvin Gaye to Dolph line too, because here's the thing. It showed that he was fresh and current, but it still showed that nostalgic Nas ability to contextualize deeply and brilliantly quickly. Mm-hmm. From Marvin Gaye to Dolph, we taking out our brothers. He's going historical context. He's going black on black crime, brother on brother context. He's spitting it out in one bar. That's Nas. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I really realized, Mike. This whole time, he's been waiting for the dust to settle to take this moment and seize this day. Like, he's been waiting for the gap, for the lane. Like, I realize now, the Nasir project with Kanye was just practice shots. Like,
that was literally a warm-up, yeah.
He was taking practice shots with Nasir. When you look at it now, he's taking practice shots with Nasir, trying to get back in the groove and kind of like trying to find that vibe again. And you can tell it poking out, Mike, but like it's poked itself all the way back out, and he's just rolling, Mike. Like, I don't buy into the hype. I'm in the studio lately.
M. Michael says Jay will catch him and pass him. But, I mean, what are you basing that on?
What evidence? That's what I'm saying. People don't want to admit that they're wrong. You don't have any evidence that that's going to happen. You don't.
Listen, man, I'm a Jay fan. I know his material back and forth, man. I'm a Nas fan, too. But I was more of a Jay fan than a Nas fan. But, I mean, I don't see it. Especially with the 6 duds that he's dropped this year. I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, anything can happen, but he doesn't have the help of Kanye West. Just Blaze is a no-show, right? And, you know, in respect to No ID, I think No ID's made some really dope stuff in his time, but I don't think No ID is the answer for Jay.
I don't think that either, Mike. So I want to go to some more points about like Nas the MC. The hook writing on this album is top notch.
Leroy Green says, keep that energy when Jay returns. Yes, we will. And we have kept that energy the whole year when he's dropped dud after dud. He dropped the song with Nipsey Hussle. Shit was a dud. Rest in peace to Nipsey. And that's not even Nipsey's fault. You know what I'm saying? He dropped Sorry Not Sorry. That was a dud. He dropped the song with Kid Cudi. That was a dud. The song with Jadakiss and Conway was underwhelming. So, yeah, we'll keep the same energy. We're just being objective here. We're not going to sit here and say just because a person is who they are and what they've done in their time that all that stuff is erased. Magic is dope.
I've been keeping this energy since, hold on, Mike. I've been keeping this energy since 96. Like, I'm not saying you can ask anybody who knows me, fam. I've been saying this shit since 1996. I haven't pivoted off of it much. I'm not about to pivot now. What he needs to do is pivot and do what Nas has done, which is reingratiate himself back into the business properly. So I'm going to tell you something what Nas is doing. Nas has studied the game and he's reinvented himself to jump back in the game and play the game the way it's played. Now, Nas has been inspired by Griselda too. He sees the way that they're releasing projects and how it's working for them. And he's like, no, he's been low key watching, looking for somebody to pair with. That's what I mean about how the Kanye thing was his first shot at really trying to pair with a producer just full time and try to kind of, find that wave. And so that didn't work. And so I think that kind of sent him on a journey, kind of looking for who he was going to vibe with. And he found them. But Mike, when he found them, this shit is, Mike, it's magic.
Let's keep it real, man. Jay got lines
Mike,
this year like another B. That's the other B. Know my other B. Don't forget B. And not to mention the what was the other one? It was another one. God on the phone. That's my celly or something like that. Or
very problematic.
I don't know,
Mike,
man.
stop. Just stop.
I don't know, man.
Stop, Mike. Just stop. Mike, Nas is so comfortable. His ad libs sound incredible. He's using different vocal tones, Mike. He's got different flows now. He's got different patterns. Mike, he's leading into the song and talking shit before the song, after the song, between the song, like Tupac and Jay do, Mike.
No, I mean, honestly, Nas on this album, to me, like I told you, he sounds like Nas from I Am.
No, but
Mike, this album's
like
better than I Am.
No, it's way better than I Am.
No, it is. But, like I said, if I were to match up the vocals from The Truth and Nas's Like, I would be like, this was recorded around the same time. You know what I mean?
You talking about even with the voice too?
Yeah,
Mike, you're right.
He sounds like I Am.
No, Mike, you're right. Mike, he hadn't punched the mic like this since Nas's Like, because people forget Made You Look at him really punching the mic.
Not
like that.
No. It's a dope ass song, but as far as him rapping like this.
Yeah. No. He put the mic to bed on this album. I know what you're saying.
And honestly,
man, on this album, Mike.
And honestly, the only way that Jay can match something like this is if he was rapping like he was like Volume 1 or something. You know what I mean?
And I'm going to tell you what I think happened with this project. I don't even know if they really planned to put this together. I think they just got in the process of making music together. And the takes were so good, they were like, yo, it's magic. We got to keep it. Even though we ain't putting it out on KD3, these takes we're making are so good, we got to kick it out. Let's go ahead. Fuck it. It's magic.
I mean, he's in a rhythm, man. It's remarkable, man. And we got to give props where props is due. It's unfortunate that other media outlets aren't talking about Magic even more. I know when KD came out, the first one, he was doing a lot of press and a lot of people were covering him. And I think that was mostly because maybe they just didn't think this was serious or something. I don't know. Maybe they thought that Nas was just going to drop one album and go away. But
I just want these media publications to stop doing sucker shit, quite frankly.
I mean, at the end of the day, as someone said in the chat, just keep that same energy. That same energy y'all had for KD when it dropped. Why ain't y'all talking about Magic like this? It sounds like y'all don't want him to be on top like that.
Mike, because if this got the proper Mike, he has been referencing in records his entire career how the powers that be don't want him to be on top. Like, when are people gonna like?
If this album got the proper recognition, there would be no conversation. Point blank. And he don't need like a superstar on the album. I mean, obviously, so Mike, I think ASAP is a superstar, but nobody saw ASAP coming on a Nas record with Premier.
No, that's a beautiful record.
I love it.
That might be the closest thing to a single on there, isn't that? Shouldn't that probably be the single?
I hope so.
Yeah.
DeCarlo says Nas is making Jay-Z look overrated. Hey man, listen, I will say this. I don't wanna call Jay-Z overrated for the work that he's put in this game, but if you want to say Jay-Z's overrated for the past 10 years of his career, that is something that we can look at.
Mike, Jay has always been, for the most part, Mike, how about this, Mike? I've never had Jay since like his prime below 7th, Mike, but I never had him at number 1. I told you I always had him somewhere closer to 4 or 5. I told you I never thought he was better than Nas, never thought he was better than Rakim, never thought he was better than Pac, never thought he was better than Big, and I haven't pivoted off of that because it's the truth, because like the records are the proof. Those guys make better solo records than he do. He's in their stratosphere. He definitely deserves and belongs to be there. Go line up all the solo records where they're all at their best. He's in 5th place.
Listen, I can't argue with that. And for everybody that's saying that no one can stand, next to him on the verses, I would like to see,
I would
what
like
their
to see him
track list
stand on the
looks
verses
like.
by himself. Yeah. I want to see him stand on the stage of the verses by himself since he said that.
No, I agree with that. I mean, you could do the features and all that stuff. That's cool. But I want to
He
see.
said nobody can stand with him, so stand alone since you're the king like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, you want to talk big shit? No. Walk that shit all the way out. Like, because I don't even think he can do on stage what Kiss just did with the locks behind him. Like, he can't do that. I don't think so. He don't got that. That's what I'm saying. And he don't got records like that. Like, he don't
has a
spaz
couple.
on-
He got You Don't Know. He got PSA.
Mike, no. What I'm saying is he don't spaz on the Who Shot You Beat like that. He don't got no mighty.
He spazzed on that Grammy Family.
It's
but
not better than Kiss on Who Shot You, Mike.
I don't know about that. I don't know
no,
about
it's not,
that.
Mike. Oh, Mike, you think him on Grammy Family's better than Kiss on the Who Shot You remix?
I do. Yeah, he went crazy on there. I will give him that. Or I'll give him also when he jumped up, when he was going at Game. When he what was that? When he was on Flex. What was he rhyming over? He was rhyming over the Black Rob joint.
What? Dom Espacio? Whoa,
No.
Can I Live?
No.
The Can I Live joint?
Yeah, the Can I Live joint. Yeah. I mean, no, he could go mixtape. I'll give him that, but he's not going to. You know what I'm saying? Because his hits are so big.
Mike, that's what I'm saying. When he goes mixtape, the other guys in his stratosphere make those records better.
No, you're right. Now, I will agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they've done it more. Even 50.
And that's right, Mike. And that's actually his strength, too. His strength isn't making hit records. He's a collaborative hit record maker. His strength is the B-sides, too. His B-sides aren't better.
His strengths are the B-sides. That's why he keeps harping on the B-sides. And you're right.
But that's what I'm saying.
His hit
Mike,
records are more collaborative. I mean, I think we went through this in the other show. He has 23 Grammys, but 4 of them are for solo Jay-Z stuff.
Right. But, Mike, that's what I'm saying. Is it's like, oh, you want to bring your B-sides to a Nas or Kanye or Rakim fight? Like, okay. Like, not winning.
K. Townsend said, I think he said a whole bunch of nothing on the Grammy Family freestyle. Ooh,
thank you,
y'all
Kay.
are vicious.
You,
I disagree
no, thank
with
you,
that.
Kay. Like, that's a whole lot of thank you. I didn't want to say it. I'm like, because what Kiss is doing on that Who Shot You remix, that's on some rap shit. That Grammy Family, that's on that J shit.
Yo, when that Who Shot You dropped, I knew what was about to happen.
That's what I'm saying, Mike. It's like, oh.
Yeah,
like,
I knew what was about to happen. Yeah,
like,
I knew that.
Like, okay.
I knew that verse word for word, too. I was like, yeah, I know what's about to
That's
happen.
what I'm saying, Mike. You know the Grammy Family verse word for word?
I did. Ho. See, you put me on the spot
say less,
right now.
Mike. That's all I'm saying.
No,
that's
you put me on the spot right now.
Who shot you,
I just
Mike.
need the first word.
Okay. I'll wait.
No, he was like spied by Basquiat.
Mike,
stop. Body up, I'm tired. Build me up, kill me up again. Hove got flow, though he's no big in pop. Kind of when they got me fighting ghosts. See, you put me on the spot, right?
Right. You did it to yourself, Mike. I tried to tell you it's not as good. That's what I'm saying. You did that to yourself.
No, he killed that. I can't even front on that.
He's not fucking with Kiss on that. That's what I'm saying, Mike. If he comes to a versus and it gets on some rap shit, because that's what versus is really about. Oh, no.
But no, for real. All jokes aside, though, versus is about actually putting together that show with 20 songs. Yeah. I don't care if you got 40 songs. We're not talking about 40 songs. We're talking about 20. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be smart in what you're going to pick first, last, in the middle, how this thing's going to build. What the Lox did against Dipset was amazing. They put together a great show for themselves because Dipset clearly weren't prepared enough to go against the Lox in that way. And they were the ones that, I mean, we even said it on this show, we thought had all the hits. So it don't really matter when you talk about who got all the hits. I want to see, Jay put that together. I do. And I want to see him put it together against Nas. I don't want to see you put it together against Wayne because I think the Wayne situation is one of those things where whoever likes Wayne is gonna think Wayne won. Whoever likes Jay is gonna think Jay won. So you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a
No, they're still setting him up for victory with the Wayne thing
exactly.
because
They're
here's the
setting him up
thing,
for victory with the Wayne thing. I
right?
want to see it with
You want me to
Kanye.
unpack
I
it?
want to see it with Kanye, or I want to see it with Nas.
Period.
Because there's nobody else, honestly, man. I mean, let's just be real.
And I mean, and here's the thing. And if he were to do the Kanye thing, they'd be like, "Oh, well, Kanye don't write his stuff, and that's why it's just Nas." It's like, no, go ahead, pick your 20. I told you, Mike.
I think
Whatever you
they're in
want
the
to do, that
chat talking
playlist.
about 3,000. Reggie Noble says 3K is by far the most overrated rapper. Wow. Man, how'd y'all get on Andre 3000, man?
I'm not touching that right now.
I think as an individual, you know, Andre just shouldn't be rated as an MC. I think
It's
we
hard
just
to
gotta
it's hard to
rate
appropriate.
Outkast.
It's hard to appropriately. How about this? I don't think any all-time great MC has the brevity of material that he has at this point. Isn't that fair to say? He's like Gale Sayers in the sense he's like got the least amount of output but the most flash of brilliance. Maybe
I don't think that there's any MC in hip hop that we talk about as an individual that does not have one song where it's just them in 3 verses. I don't think there is one. Even
no, Mike.
even
Every
Gipp
time
got We Serving.
no, Mike. Every time you say that, I stand down because I don't have no smoke for you. Like, so I'm gonna keep standing down
I
because
mean,
it's
Gipp
like
got a
you're
solo
right.
album that's dope too. I mean, Backbone did Five Deuce Fo Trey. Like, even in that crew in itself.
Who's Faux Trays? Shit.
Yeah, even in that crew, we got people that got 3 verses that they held down by themselves. You know what I mean? But
It's been done multiple times. Mike Cool Breeze.
even like with Tribe, man, like they were doing it within the group. Like, you know, you had Benito on the album. You would have Butter on the album where Fife was holding it down himself. You know,
Mike,
it's like,
you know how I feel about Get a Hold on Beats, Rhymes, and Life, Mike. Tip is crazy on there.
yeah, man.
Tip is crazy on Get a Hold.
Yeah. And even Lauren. I mean, people want to talk about Lauren. Lauren's done it.
No, Mike.
That thing
Mike,
is a
Mike,
brilliant record.
Mike, I give her a lot of flack, but here's what I will tell you. Every rap song that she's actually written and done by herself has been brilliant.
Unknown Name says Andre is
It's not a lot of rap records, but they're all brilliant. Lost Ones, Doo-Wop, Final Hour. No, those are all classics.
Yeah. Unknown Name says Andre is the male Lauryn Hill. I see what people say when they say that, but, you know.
He doesn't have a miseducation.
No, he doesn't. I think The Love Below is brilliant, though. But
it's not the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. With all due respect.
It's not. No, it's not. But I think
it's got She Lives in My Lap and Prototype, Mike. That's what it's really, really got as far as classic shit. Rest of the stuff is just really good to great at times.
What do you think about Hey Y'all?
Huh?
What do you think about Hey Y'all as a record?
Like I said, She Lives in My Lap and Prototype are the only classic stuff on that.
She Lives in My Lap, in my opinion, is the best song he's ever written.
I could agree with you on that, Mike. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. But Mike, everything else is good to great. There's not anything really bad on there. But when you talk about classic, it's like Prototype and She Lives in My Lap are classic. Everything else is kind of just good to great. Like, Mike, to be honest with you, I love Spread more than I love Hey Ya.
I mean, you know, listen, Hey Y'all is one of those records that it got played so much I could see anyone not loving it. Andre doesn't like it. It got played so much. But, yeah. I mean, if we break it down, it is still a really dope record. Yo, Shamario Patterson said something that I want to address. He said, performance-wise, who would win, Jay-Z and Nas? I do think Jay is the better performer of the two. Because Nas's performance is hit or miss with the breath control and all that, but
it's been better the second half of his career than the first half. Definitely the first half is Jay in a landslide. It's Nas gives a better full show than he used to, but Jay is still the better performer.
So I do think that if they did do a versus, depending on what the venue is, Jay does have the advantage when it comes to the performance.
Well, see, here's the thing about it. This Nas that we're talking about, like, talks shit before the record, in between the record, and after the record. So it's like you got to keep in mind of, like, who they are right now showing up on stage. Because Nas is the guy, like, with, like, you know, walking. Like, Nas is the one walking in with the championship belt on if they're getting in the ring right now. I mean, we clear about that, right? Like, Jay's a challenger. He's a contender. You don't have any championship rings recently? You have none. You got you got KD 1, 2, and Magic. So you're a contender. That's what I'm saying. Like, why people acting like Jay setting the tone? It's like, no, no, no. He's not the one with the championship belt on. He ain't got no rings. He just win the MVP. Nigga ain't won MVP since like 2000. When the Black Album come out, Mike? Nigga ain't won MVP in a long time.
Yeah,
nigga ain't won MVP in a long time, Mike. Nigga ain't won MVP in a long time. Nas just won MVP.
You're right. You know what? I know it's getting super late. We got to wrap this up. And I guess we need to go ahead and just say Magic is 2021's album of the year.
Mike, yeah.
Nas is MC of the year. I mean, we're gonna come with a full list for everybody.
He about to sweep the sports awards this time, Mike. He ain't getting swept this time. This time he's sweeping. How about that?
Yeah, man. What an incredible year. What an incredible project. Incredible album. I'm still amazed by what I was hearing last Friday.
I'm a fan and I'm still stunned, Mike. Like, nobody's ever done this. I told you, he's changing the way we look at things. I told you, Mike, I have to slide Jay and Kendrick down about the shit that he did this year. It's like, go ahead and y'all go ahead and both of y'all take a step down. You take a step out. You take a step out of my top 10 until you make an album. Take a step out of my top 10 until you make an album.
Well,
Put you on higher.
Honestly, man, the fact that Magic doesn't have an
sliding Rakim back up, sliding Jay back down.
I mean, the fact that Magic doesn't have an Eminem verse on it and KD 2 does, I have to put Magic ahead. Yeah.
Mike, that's how we end, and that's what you want to do. Okay.
I mean, Eminem wasn't on Magic to fuck it up, so Magic's definitely album of the year over KD 2. But
I can't with you.
Man, happy New Year, happy holidays, everybody, man. We really appreciate y'all growing with us this past year. And we're gonna do some even bigger things in 2022, man. I'm really excited, man. I'm excited for everything this show's gonna do. Coop's gonna be out here interviewing, some of the biggest artists, some of the best artists, not even just biggest, people who are making the biggest impacts out there.
Yeah, I'll settle for best.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, man. We only cover the best, people who are doing this hip hop thing the right way. And yeah, man, we're looking forward to just continuously growing with y'all and y'all growing with us and hearing more hip hop, man. I'm looking forward to KD 3 now, man, because Kendrick ain't dropping.
So, Mike, what did I tell you when I heard KD 2? I was like, I'm excited about the series. It appears they're going to keep this run going.
Yeah. It might be a 4. Who knows? But yes. What are we doing the next show, man? I know you said you're going to be wrapped up for the rest of the year, right?
Just let me get home, Mike, and we'll touch base.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But right. we had to touch y'all real quick, man, because I know that we hadn't talked about Magic yet. But yes, everything that you thought that we thought about Magic, you were right. I think it's a classic. I think it's album of the year. Nas dropped album of the year at the last second.
Last second. So I guess a good way to end this is like, okay, so he's kind of like changing the cap of it. It's like, this is now the new barometer. You get what I'm saying? Because, Mike, here's what he's doing. What he's doing is having a great solo MC career, but now he's going back to his roots of what he's grew up on. He's going to the MC producer combo, like Eric B. and Rakim, Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, KRS-One and Scott LaRock, Gangstar. Right, yeah. He's letting you know what he's doing. He's like, no, I finally got my guy the way my guys had their guy. Now I got my guy. Let's see how my stuff stacks up to their guys. Because I'll tell you right now, Mike, as far as like MC producer combos, Mike, I mean, Eric B. and Rakim appear to be the only ones in the lead. Wow. Wouldn't that be fair?
Well, we're going to need to see KD 3.
Mike, is there an MC producer combo that can say they got albums better than KD 1, KD 2, and Magic right now, except for Eric B. and Rakim?
Gangstar
don't have 3 albums better. They got 2. They got Daily Operation, and they got Moment of Truth. I just gave you 3. You gave me 2.
All right. I think this is a whole nother subject for a whole nother show.
Hold on. Not Daily Operation. Step into the arena.
Step into the arena. Yeah, I figured that's where you were going. Daily Operation is dope too, but yeah.
It is.
It's not, Step into the arena.
How about this? KD 1 would be the lowest one on this totem pole. That's better than Daily Operation.
Well,
KD 1's better than Daily Operation. So.
Well, Happy New Year to everybody. If we don't talk to y'all sooner than that, but Yeah, we're gonna really break down. You know what? On the next show, what we need to do is we need to just go ahead and just use that show to break down 2021, and just go from there and just kind of set the tone for 2022 and just the best of 2021. I think that'll be next show. We wanted to do that this show, but Magic stopped us. So
Is what it
what
is.
can you do?